Good morning once again. Today we're going to discuss our last topic for the term, and it's about capital structure, weighted average cost of capital. It covers chapter 19 of our text. So for the past weeks, we have been discussing capital budgeting. We learned that when we evaluate long-term projects, we need to forecast the cash flows. Okay, after tax cash flows, and then we have to discount the cash flows, and then the discount rate that we used is what we call the opportunity cost of capital, or the weighted cost of capital. Okay, so in this chapter we look at how the weighted average cost of capital is computed, and there's also another topic here, which is the adjusted present value, which you're required to read also. Okay, but we're not going to discuss that for lack of time. But I think the discussion here in your text is pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so let's take a look at what this chapter has to offer. Okay, this tells us that the weighted average cost of capital, and as the name indicates, after tax, weighted average cost of capital can be computed using this formula. Now, in a while, we're going to have an Excel worksheet where we're going to see how this is computed. Okay, so we have R sub D and R sub E. These are the cost of debt and the cost of equity. And you notice the cost of debt is multiplied by 1 minus tax rate, which means that the cost of debt is effectively only let's say if the tax rate is 30%, the cost of debt is only 70%. Okay, 70% times the cost of debt. The reason why we subtract the tax component is because when we incur debt, okay, pag nangutang yung company, what happens? We incur interest expense. Okay, so the interest expense is deducted from your EBIT, earnings before interest and taxes, to arrive at your earnings before tax. Thus, your taxable base is decreased because of the interest. And because your taxable base is decreased, then your tax is lowered. So the use of debt results into tax savings. Okay, so that's why the cost of debt is reduced by the tax rate because of the tax savings. Okay. On the other hand, the return on equity, whether it's preferred or common stock, is not reduced by the tax rate because the dividends distributed to shareholders does not reduce the taxable base. Okay. So the other factor here is the debt over the value of the asset and equity over the value of the asset. This is the weight, or how much of the assets is financed by debt, how much of the assets is financed by equity. So the D over B plus E over B is equal to 100%. Okay, so here we have an example. Here are book values of this company, Sangria Corporation. The book value is, the asset is 1,000, debt and equity is 1,000. Now, then we compute for the market value and assume that the market value is now 1,250. Let's assume that the debt is still 500 and the equity, because of capital appreciation, increased. It became 750. Okay, so here we can compute for the weight of the debt and the weight of the equity. It's simply 500 over 1,250 for the debt and 750 over 1,250 for the equity. So it's just the percentage. How much is financed by debt and how much is financed by equity. The total, of course, should be 100%. Now, let's assume that we're given that the cost of debt was computed to be 6%. The cost of equity is 12.5%. The tax rate is 21%. Okay, take note that the cost of debt is usually lower than the cost of equity. Now, why is that so? Why is cost of debt lower compared to cost of equity? Well, this is consistent with the principle of risk and return. Now we know that cost equity is more expensive, it's more risky than debt. Why is equity more risky than debt? Okay. In many angles, okay, in many considerations. Number one, in the event of liquidation, okay, when a company becomes bankrupt and it goes through a process of liquidation where it converts all its assets into cash to pay all the financiers. The first group that will be paid are the debt holders. No? Sila yung unang babayaran. Tapos kung may natira, pagkatapos na yung preferred shareholders, huli na yung common shareholders pag may natira pa. No? Okay, so in terms of risk as far as being paid out is concerned, mas risky talaga si common shareholders. No? Secondly, ang debt holders, guys, may regular na interest payments yan. Okay, they receive interest payments dependent dun sa interest rate, no? Okay, samantalang si shareholders, common shareholders, may dividend sila but it's not regular. It depends. There are companies that do pay regular dividends, but these are the high performers, blue chip companies. Regular yung pag-issue nila ng dividends, no? So mas risky talaga yung pag nag-invest ka sa stocks, no? So that's why consistent with the principle of risk and return, the higher the assumed risk, the higher will be the required return. Okay? And then as I mentioned a while ago, kinompute dito yung debt ratio tsaka equity ratio which is just the ratio of the amount of the debt divided by the total value of the asset, market value usually. Okay, so we can now compute for the after-tax weighted average cost of capital. Take note, it's called the after-tax. No? So the cost of debt is 6.6%. That's the 0.06 there. Ito. And then we net it against the tax rate. It's 1 minus 0.21, which is the tax rate. And then we multiply it by the weight of the debt, which is 0.4. So this is just the weight of the debt times the cost of the debt minus the tax. For the equity, it's the weight of the equity, which is 0.6 times the cost of the equity. And we have what we call the after-tax weighted average cost of capital, 9.4%. And this is now used for as a discount rate or the opportunity cost of capital in evaluating projects. So you don't use the 6%, you don't use the 12.5%, rather you use the weighted average cost of capital. Okay, so it's used to compute for the NPV, it's used to compute for the IRR. Okay, so yun yung ginagamit natin, no? All right, so always use the weighted average cost of capital, and as we mentioned, this is the formula. Okay, so let's go through chapter 19 is a very short chapter. Okay, so here we have a portion where you're valuing a business. Okay, valuing a business using the free cash flow. When you value a business, guys, okay, you always also use the weighted average cost of capital. So yung weighted average cost of capital is used for evaluating projects. It's used for valuing a business. So if you recall, guys, in the first 2 weeks of our session of our class, we had an example of valuing a company using free cash flow. Okay, ito yung example na yan, yung valuation horizon. Yung valuation horizon na yan. So you may wish to review that worksheet. Okay? So ito kinompute lang yung making use of free cash flow. Okay? Kinompute yung present value ng company, and this is used to value kung magkano yung per share na value ng company. Okay, so we'll not go into that. All right. So just read through this, guys. Okay, and then 9-3. This is now a practical example. Okay, we'll have this sa Excel. Okay, Practical example lang to, no? And then 9-4 is about adjusted present value. Okay, so kindly read through this. May example naman siya, no? Okay, and then that's about it, guys. That's chapter 19. No? And then these are just review questions and then the summary. Okay, so chapter 19 is a very short chapter. The crux of chapter 19 is all about the computation of weighted average cost of capital and its use. Saan siya ginagamit? Okay, now today we're going to learn using Excel how to compute for the weighted average cost of capital. So kindly open the workbook that I shared with you. So kindly access this, and once you have the Excel file, kindly indicate, guys, in the chat box. Please answer yes, so that I know when I'm going to start to learn. Okay, let's wait for your classmates. Only 3 have indicated 4. You are 20 now. So let's wait for your classmates to open the Excel file. Waiting for the rest, guys, to indicate that they have opened the file. I think we have not reached even 50%. So let's give a few more seconds to your classmates. Okay, thank you. All right. So if you notice, guys, this workbook has 4 worksheets. So let's start with the introduction, the notes. Okay, so this is all about capital structure and cost of capital. Okay, if you notice, if you look at the firm's capital structure, the assets is composed of current assets and fixed assets. Current assets are usually financed by current liabilities. Okay, so this is what we call matching your current assets with financing of current liabilities. Okay. However, yung mga fixed assets natin or mga long-term assets, they're not financed by current liabilities. No? They're financed by long-term debt and equity. And strictly speaking, this is the portion that's called capital structure. Okay, and the cost of both debt and equity is called your cost of capital. Okay, so the basic concept is let's assume this company ABC would want to invest in $100,000 investment. The useful life of the project is 20 years and the IRR is 7%. And it's basing its decision on the cost of debt, which is 6%. If the company decides on this project, then it will go with the project. The company will decide yes because the IRR is 7% and the basis for the cost of capital is the cost of debt, which is 6%. So we say that the IRR is greater than the cost of capital. Therefore, di ba sabi natin, IRR should be greater than the cost of capital. So the company approves this project and say, yes, go ahead with the project. On the other hand, for this other project, IRR is 12%, and it's using the cost of equity, which is 14%. So we're going to reject this project if the basis is the cost of equity. Okay, so what's wrong with this? In these 2 scenarios, guys, the company did not use the weighted average cost of capital. Here, it just used the cost of the debt. Here, it just used cost of equity. So that's a wrong decision, guys. No? Kasi dapat the cost of capital should be a composition of debt and equity. So that's why we have this concept of weighted average cost of capital, after tax weighted average cost of capital. So let's take a look at this slide. it's important to determine the WACC. Sabi nga ng example sa taas, using just the piecemeal approach. When you say piecemeal approach, you just use either the debt or the equity as the basis for your determination. This is wrong because it's not in the best interest of the firm's shareholders. We know that yung long term talaga, over the long haul, the firm must undertake investments that maximize the firm value. And the company can do that if it uses the average cost of capital. Okay, and not the piecemeal approach, which just looks into one financing. Okay. Now, syempre guys, if we to compute for the weighted average cost of capital, diba sabi natin, it's the cost of the debt at weight of the debt times cost of the debt times 1 minus tax, and then plus weight of the equity times the cost of the equity. So we should know how much is the cost of debt and how much is the cost of equity. So we have to compute for this. So we're going to go through this one by one. Una yung cost of debt, and I'm going to show you how in an example. And then pangalawa, yung cost of preferred stock. So yung cost of preferred stock, simple lang yung formula niya. No? K sub P is equal to, it's a dividend, okay? Dividend divided by, you notice, the dividend of the preferred divided by the price, the current price minus F. F is a flotation cost. Okay, ano ibig sabihin ng flotation cost? Kasi pag magpa-finance yung company through stock, usually they hire the services of investment banks, no? Or financial institutions whose expertise is in floating bonds or in issuing stocks, no? So yun ang expertise nila. So sometimes a company would hire their services. So syempre may bayad yun. Okay? May bayad yung services na yun, and that takes care of the flotation cost. Yung dividend ni preferred, guys, is D sub P. And usually pag preferred, guys, constant yung dividends. Hindi nagbabago yan. Okay? That's why sometimes preferred stock is called quasi-bond. Parang just like a bond or a debt. Kasi pareho sila in that regard. Pag debt, guys, pag bonds, yung interest payments yan, fixed. Okay, it's either annual or semi-annual, pero fixed siya. Ganon din si preferred stock. Kaya parang may may features ng isang debt instrument, no? Okay, on the other hand, si common stock, the cost of common stock is computed by this one. Two ways dito. You can compute for the cost of common equity, either using the capital asset pricing model, which makes use of this formula. Okay, this was also a subject in your risk and return. Okay, in fact, may mga questions about that dun sa quiz nyo. Okay, and also another way is to, if using the constant growth model, the constant dividend growth rate model, which is this formula. So the cost of the common stock is equal to the dividend at period 1, so D1, divided by the price now plus G. Now again, si common equity pwede magkaroon to ng flotation cost, no? So ima-minus natin sa price now, yung P sub O, yung flotation cost. Okay, we'll have an example of that. So si cost of retained earnings, pareho lang siya ng cost of equity. The only difference is that si cost of retained earnings, wala siyang flotation cost. Si cost of new equity, may flotation cost dito, may minus F. While si cost of retained earnings, wala siyang minus F kasi you don't need to issue retained earnings kasi it's already with the company. Okay, and finally, as we said, the WACC is obtained by multiplying the weights. So dito may example tayo, no? Yung weight ng debt is 0.4, yung weight ng preferred is 0.1, and the weight of the common equity is 0.5. And then we multiply them by their corresponding costs. Ito yung after tax yung debt. Si preferred stock, ito, and then si common stock, This one. All right. So let's have an example. Let's go to number 1. Okay. So see, number 1, we have 3 sources of financing. Meron tayong bonds or debt yan. Meron tayong preferred stock. Okay. Sorry. And meron tayong common. So ito yung tatlong financing nito for this company. Okay. So how do we compute the weighted average cost of capital? So WACC. Kailangan natin ma-compute yung WACC, and how do we do it? Okay, to compute for the WACC, guys, kailangan natin yung mga weights nila. So dito natin ilalagay yon. Weights. This is a percentage of the total. Okay. And then kailangan natin yung mga cost nila. No? After tax, this is only for the debt. For the preferred and for the common, hindi naman kailangan yung after tax. No? Ang kinukuha lang natin ang after tax debt. Okay, so lakayan ko lang yung font nito. Okay, so first let's compute for the cost of debt. Okay, paano ba kino-compute si cost of debt? So the way to compute for the cost of debt is to understand the cash flows, no? that is involved with this borrowing. So ito yung data natin on the bonds. So the face value is 1,000. Yung 1,000 yan, ibig sabihin yan yung officially yung inutang natin. No? Yun yung nakalagay dun sa document. So yun yung babayaran natin at the end of the term, which is 10 years. So sabi kasi dito 10 years yung utang. So yung interest rate natin will be dependent on the face value. So 1,000 times 10%, yun yung coupon rate, ito yung interest. No? So every year magbabayad tayo ng 100. So 1,000 times 10%, that's 100. And at the end of the 10th year, we will have to pay also the face amount of 1,000. Now, how much are we going to get for this utang, no? For this bond? We're going to get the price. The price is 904.53. So you notice, guys, na yung ibabayad sa atin is lower than yung babayaran natin after 1 year. Okay? Ang tawag dyan, discount bond. No? Mas mababa yung makukuha natin, no? Mahihiram natin. And there's a reason for that. No? Quite a number of reasons. Number 1, possible na itong bond na to, itong company to is quite risky. No? Okay, and several other reasons that we're not going to look into. Now, there's another example. There's another type. It's called the premium bond. So premium bond naman, guys, ang price niya is higher than the face value. Okay? So kunyari ang price niya 1,005, higher than the face value, ang tawag doon premium bond. And the other one is par bond. Par bond, guys, ang price niya is 1,000 exactly. Pareho lang. Okay? So how do we compute for the cost of debt? Itong cost of debt na to. Well, we have to plot our cash flows. So let's plot our cash flows. Plot ko lang para okay, so 10 years, no? Para mas maintindihan natin. Okay, 10 years. Ito yung cash flow natin. Okay, first magsisimula tayo sa year 0. Sa year 0, makakatanggap tayo ng cash. No? We'll be able to, kasi nanghiram tayo eh. So how much is that cash? It's 904.53. Okay. However, may babayaran tayo dun sa financial institution na nag-float ng bonds na to para sa atin. No? And the flotation cost is 1%. Ibig sabihin, guys, we only get 99% of this kasi 1% will be used to pay that financial institution. So 1 minus the 1%. Okay? So take a look at that formula. Ang sinasabi dyan, what we're going to get, the inflow natin is 904.53 less 1%. No? Less 1%. So it's only, litan ko lang yung Okay, tanggalin ko na yung decimal place muna. Okay. It's only around 895. So this is inflow, so positive to. Okay, and then year 1, what happens? Magbabayad tayo ng interest, no? And the interest is equal to 1,000 multiplied by 10%. That's the interest. And then ma-minus ko. Okay, minus kasi guys, utang to no? Alright? Then I will fix this para F4 na lang, fix ko so that I can copy this to the right. There. Okay, so for 10 years, magbabayad tayo ng 100 interest payment siya. And then on the last year, okay, magbabayad tayo ng face value niya, yung principal. Okay, yun. So ito guys yung cash flows natin for this bond. So we have to understand, we have to know what the cash flows are in order for us to compute for the rate. Inflow natin 895 at year 0, and then yung mga interest payments natin, which is an annuity, di ba? Annuity to, itong 1,100 na to, plus a future value of 1,000. Okay, so knowing this, guys, then it will be easy to compute for our cost of debt. So this is equal to, we're going to use the rate function. Rate function. Okay, enter. Ilang years to? Okay, we know that this is 10. 10 years. Okay, comma. What's the PMT? The PMT, that's the annuity, no? So the annuity is, we'll put negative para consistent yung ano natin. Negative 1,000 multiplied by 10%. Okay, so that's your PMT. No? Negative kasi palabas siya. Comma, what's our present value? How much are we going to receive? That's 904.53 multiplied by your 1 minus your flotation cost. Okay, positive siya. And then comma, what is our future value? Our future value is again another payment, negative of 1,000. Okay. So ignore the type kasi annuity ordinary naman to, and we ignore the guess. All right. So that's your rate. No? That's our rate. Control enter. Okay, we get 11.8375. However, remember guys, kapag debt, it should always be after tax. So we multiply this by 1 minus, the tax rate is 30%. Yan. So that's now your cost of debt, after tax cost of debt. Control enter. So I'm getting 8.2 decimal places na lang. Around 8.29. Okay, so paki-ano nga guys, paki-chat naman please kung if you got the same answers. I'm going to flash this again. Ibigay ko dito yung formula. Okay, and then kindly chat please kung if you got the 8.29%. I would appreciate this feedback from you guys. Let's wait for the others. So actually, simple lang guys yung pag-compute no, ng cost of debt as long as we understand yung cash flows that come with it. Kasi pag may nag-issue ka ng bond guys, siyempre may makukuha kang amount, may hiniram ka di ba? Tapos alam natin kung magkano yung babayaran natin depende dun sa dun sa maturity, yung number of years. No? So yung interest, and then at the end of the period, yung face value ng bond. Okay, so isa pala nag-respond. Thank you, Tracy. How about the rest, guys? I'm waiting for your feedback. I hope I am able to get 10 responses, guys. Sana maka 10 man lang or more than 10 mag-respond. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. A few more seconds, guys, to give time to your classmates. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right. That's good. So, mga 8, mga 9, fish kalahati kapag ano, no? Sana yung iba sumusunod din. No? Okay, so this is our cost of debt, no? Our after-tax cost of debt. Now to compute for the cost of preferred stock at cost of common stock. Take note, si cost of preferred stock at common stock hindi after-tax yun. Okay, so we're given that si preferred stock, the dividend is 10 pesos, okay, per period, or 10 pesos per year. And there's a flotation cost of 2%. Ibig sabihin, they hire the services of the company to help them market yung preferred shares ng company. No? Okay, so let's compute for that. This is equal to the dividends, okay? Dividend divided by, magkano daw yung preferred ngayon? The price of preferred P sub O is 100 pesos. Okay, 100. Okay, however, hindi lahat yan mapupunta sa company kasi ibig sabihin may babayaran silang cost. No? That's 1 minus the flotation cost of 2%. Yan. Okay, simple lang guys. Simple lang yung cost ng preferred stock. It's just the dividend divided by the price. Okay, the net price kasi ibabawas yung flotation cost kung meron man. Okay, enter. Alright, so that's 10.2%. 10.2% yung cost ng preferred stock. And you can see usually that the cost of preferred stock will be higher than the cost of debt. Okay, I hope you got 10.2%. So let me hurry up a bit guys kasi tinitin ako yung budget. Meron pa tayong dalawang worksheets. Okay, last guys, similarly yung common stock naman, magkakaiba lang sila sa may plus G dito. Tapos ang ginagamit D sub 1. Si preferred stock D sub P. Sa common stock D sub 1. Ano ibig sabihin ng D sub 1? That's the dividend after one period. So future dividend, no? Okay, and that happens only when there's a constant growth rate. So constant growth rate model to, no? Right here, constant growth rate. Constant growth rate, ibig sabihin, yung growth rate ng dividends, it's growing over time at a constant rate. Okay, take a look at the data natin. Dividend at time 0. So D sub O yan. Ibig sabihin, nabigay na yung dividends na yan. Ang kailangan natin yung D sub 1. D sub 1. So that's what we need. Okay? Ang binigay sa atin, dividend at time 0. But we can compute for D sub 1 because may alam natin yung growth rate. Okay? So let's put here D sub 1. So this is equal to, what's our D sub 1? It's D sub 0 and then times 1 plus the growth rate. Kasi ang information sa atin, dividend is growing by a constant rate of 6%. So therefore, ang dividend natin for the next period, D1, D1 kasi yung formula natin, is now 4.1976. No? Hindi na 3.96 kasi nag-grow siya ng 6%. Okay? Alright, and then we divide it by, yung formula natin? Yung price ng common stock, which is 70, but we have to reduce that by the flotation cost. 5% yung flotation cost. So that means 95% na lang ng 70. Okay, so if I highlight this, F9, so it's only 66.5, no? Okay, yung net price niya, not 70, kasi nga may flotation cost na 5%. Okay, and then the last formula, guys, is you have to add back plus G, the growth rate. So that's the formula for the cost of common stock. Okay, I'll give you a few, control enter. So I'm getting So this is the formula for the common stock. Okay, kindly chat, guys, please, if you have the cost of debt, cost of preferred, and cost of common stock. I hope, guys, that you can immediately respond kasi 45 minutes lang tayo, no? And we still have two worksheets to accomplish. Okay, thank you, Tracy. How about the rest, guys? Very good. Kenji, Anton, Migs, Josh, thank you so much. Okay, so I hope the others are following. Okay, so we have computed for the cost of debt, yung after tax nito, cost of preferred, and cost of common stock. Okay, so let's now compute for the weighted average cost of capital. Okay, ang weighted average cost of capital natin, we need to compute for the weights. So first, let's compute for the market value. So si debt, yan ko na lang din to. So si debt, guys, magkano yung price niya ngayon? 904.53 times ilang units daw yung in-issue ng debt? It's 400. Okay? So market value niya 361. Okay, let me just format this. Tanggalin ko lang yung tanggalin ko yung dollar. Okay, so this is the market debt, no? Market value. Just multiplying the price by the units, and then we can copy this down. Okay, so 100 times 1,000, 70 times 10,000. So that's the market value ng debt, ng preferred, ng common stock. Now, knowing the market values, we can now compute for the weights. So this is just equal to, okay, the value of debt divided by the sum, is the sum of the values, no? And then we fix the column, okay? Yan guys yung weights natin, no? So D3 divided by the total to get the percentage of your debt. And then I go down. Okay, tanggalin ko lang decimal, no? So that's around 31% debt, preferred 8%, 8.6, and then common 60.25. Okay, so because now that we have the weights, then madali na yung WACC, no? Ang WACC simply is just the i-multiply lang natin yung, okay, it will just be the weight of the debt times the cost of the debt, etc. And in Excel, that's quickly done by the sum product. Sum product ng weights and the costs. Okay, let me increase this. Okay, so 10.88% yung after tax. This is your after tax weighted average cost of capital. Okay, and this is what we use in order to evaluate projects, in order to determine the value of the firm, etc. Ito yung ginagamit, no? Okay, so any questions, guys, about the after-tax weighted average cost of capital? Paki-chat naman please kung yes, kung naintindihan, at saka kung na-compute yung WACC natin. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you so much for your responses. Okay, very good. Salamat, no? Yeah, thank you. I appreciate those who are responding, who are giving their feedback. All right. So let's go now to another example, similar, just to reinforce what we learned here. Okay, ganun din to, no? So parang practice lang din natin to. Just increase the font. All right. So meron tayong bonds dito. Meron tayong preferred, tsaka meron tayong common equity. And our objective is to compute for the weighted average cost of capital. Ito, yung WACC. So, similar. So number one sa bonds. No? So meron tayong 10 years din yung maturity nito. Ang coupon rate 9%. Ang kaibahan, semi-annual to. No? Ang frequency twice a year. Ang face value niya pareho lang 1,000. Now gawin natin to guys na 1,005. 1,005. So premium bond to. No? Premium bond. Premium siya. Kasi more than the face value yung price ng bond na to. And my flotation cost then, so we have to compute for the yield to maturity, or this is the cost of the debt. And then, computein natin yung after tax, given sa ating tax rate. Okay, so let me just briefly plot natin yung cash flow natin, 0, 1, 2. Now, since this is semi-annual, na 10 years, therefore there will be 20 periods, no? So i-ano ko na lang siya, i-cut, no? Okay, 4. Okay, tapos i-ano ko na lang siya, i-abbreviate ko na lang siya, guys. We understand what this means, no? Ibig sabihin nito, guys, hanggang ano, no? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 18, 19, 20. 20 periods to kasi 10 years siya pero semi-annual. Diba? So there will be 20 compoundings. No? Okay, so first, how much will be the initial the payment to the company? It's this amount, 1,005. However, we have to net that against the flotation cost of 2%. Okay, so it's 985, no? 985. Tapos, yung interest natin will be 1,000 times the 9%, but we have to divide it by 2. Okay? We have to divide it by 2, and then I'm going to fix this. Fix muna F4. Kasi kakopy ko to the right, and then minus, negative siya. Okay, so that's negative 45. Okay. So that's negative 45 hanggang 20, no? And then lastly, sa period 20, that's the face value. Okay. That's 1,000. Okay, so ito yung cash flow, guys, ng bond na to. Now, once you understand this, guys, ang dali-dali na nitong rate. No? So, we have used the rate function several times, and I'm sure you won't have difficulty with this. What's critical with this is to be able to identify these cash flows. Ito yung critical dito. Pag naintindihan natin to, ano na lang yan, formality na lang pag-compute ng rate. No? So, rate natin will be, NPER natin will be 10 years, pero since this is semi-annual, times 2. So it's 20 periods, no, number of periods. So number of periods does not mean number of years. Okay? Pareho lang yung number of periods sa number of years kung annual yung compounding. But this is semi-annual, so the number of periods is 20, comma. So everything has to be semi-annual here. Ang PMT natin should also be semi-annual. Negative natin, negative 1,000 times the 9%, divided by 2. Okay? Kasi semi-annual yan. F9. Okay, negative 9 nga, no? Oops. But negative 9. So that's B8 face value times 9% divided by, it's mali, divided by 2 dapat. Okay? So let me check this. F9, negative 45. No? Okay. We don't need to fix anything here kasi hindi naman natin ikakopy yung formula na to. Comma, the present value is, again, positive naman to, no? Kasi utang, so papasok sa atin 1,005. But we have to net it against the flotation cost of 2%. There. And then for the future value, it's negative 1,000. Ignore the type and ignore the guess. Okay. Now, if you do this, yung rate na to guys, semi-annual din to. No? Semi-annual lahat to, pati yung rate mo semi-annual. So we have to convert this to annual by multiplying it with the frequency. So times 2 yan to convert it into annual. Okay? Take note, the rate we're going to get here is semi-annual also kasi yung mga factors natin dito, yung N-per natin semi-annual, PMT semi-annual. Okay? So yung mga time frames na yan, mga semi-annual yan. So we have to multiply it by 2 to convert it to annual. So that's 9.23. Okay, pero wala pang hindi pa natin after tax yan. So i-after tax natin 9.23 times 1 minus the tax rate of 30%. Okay. So this is now the after tax cost of debt. Okay. This is now the after tax cost of debt, 6.46%. Okay, pause muna ako, guys. Okay, waiting for you to chat kung nakuha niyo yung 6.46%. Let me show the formula here. Ito yung formula natin ng semi-annual rate na minultiply natin ng 2. Okay, thank you, Charmaine. Thank you, Harold. Okay. Paki-chat naman please kung nakuha nyo na yung after-tax cost of debt. Okay, Tracy, Kenji, salamat. Okay, Gael, thank you. I really appreciate guys pag nag-feedback ng ganyan kasi ibig sabihin na you're able to follow and that I'm able to explain hopefully correctly and hopefully properly and clearly how yung lesson natin today. Okay, so that's good. Now let's go to the preferred equity. Linagay ko na naman yung formula dito. So alam natin sa equity, fixed dividend niyan. So in this case, 11 daw. Tapos yung price niya, 125. Ito yun, yung price. Tapos may flotation cost na 3%. So therefore, yung cost of equity natin will be the dividend divided by the current price. Okay, yung price ngayon, 125. And then we have to subtract. Okay, since percentage yung binigay, 1 minus 3%. Minsan binibigay yung peso value. So ima-minus mo na lang kung peso value yung binigay na flotation cost. Okay, so pretty straightforward guys, yung cost of preferred stock. Okay. Right. Pause muna ako guys. So what's the formula? Kindly chat please if you were able to get the cost of preferred stock. Okay, thank you, Charmaine. The rest, let's wait for the others to compute for the cost of preferred equity. Thank you, Anton. Salamat. Kenji, thank you. Tracy, salamat. Let's give a few more seconds to the others to key in their answers. Okay, meron pa ba, guys? Okay, thank you. All right. So lastly, we're going to compute for the cost of equity. Okay, kasi kailangan natin yung tatlong financing na to in order to compute for our weighted average cost of capital. Balik mo itong decimal na ito. So, papahaba siya ng cells natin. This one, Okay. So lastly, guys, yung cost of common equity. No? Okay, so this is equal to again, guys, D1, no? D1. So dapat alam natin yung growth rate, dapat alam natin D1. Now, it so happened here that what was given is D1 already, no? Kung D sub auto, yung dividend now, or yung dividend na, yung current dividend, then we will have to multiply that by the growth rate. Kaso, ang binigay na sa atin, yung dividend for the next year. So this is what we need. So we don't need to adjust that. Divided by, ano yung price natin? The price is now 41.5. And then we have to deduct the flotation cost of 8%. Laki naman. Okay. So, and then plus the growth rate of G. There you go. Control Enter. Okay, so the cost of common stock, i-copy ko lang yung formula dito for your reference. Okay, so this is our formula. So this is D1 divided by the net price, which is the price, then reduced by the flotation cost, okay? And then plus the growth rate of G. Kaya nga ang tawag dito, guys, constant. This is another name for this is the Gordon model. Gordon model. Siya yung gumawa ng method na to, constant growth rate. Okay, so it's 10.27. Okay, now since we have the three financing costs, then we can now compute for the weighted average cost of capital. Okay, so let's do that. So first, kailangan natin yung market value and then the market value weights. So sometimes kung hindi available yung mga market values, we use the book value. But in this case, available naman siya. So for example, si common stock, ang market price niya is 41.5 multiplied by the number of shares. No? So that gives us the market value of common. Let me just remove the dollar sign there. Okay, so 9960. Si preferred naman, magkano si preferred? Market value niya 125 multiplied by the number of shares, 25. Okay, sorry, hindi ko na highlight, hindi ko na format lahat. Move the decimal place. Okay. And then finally, si debt, yung cost of debt, yung price ng debt is, di ba, 1,005 siya. Okay. Multiplied by yung number of units ng debt. So that's 3,115,500. Okay, so we can now compute for the weights. For common, it's this one divided by the sum of all of this, no? And then we fix the row because we're going to copy the formula down. Okay, so we have now the weights here, and the cost of financing, we'll just copy it, 10.27. This is 9.07. This is 6.46. Okay, so the weighted average cost of capital is simply the sum product of your market value weights and your financing cost. Percent natin. Okay, so this is our after tax weighted average cost of capital. All right, let me pause for a while, guys. See if you have any questions. So yun ang gagamitin, guys, natin na WACC, no? Not the cost of common, not the cost of preferred, not the cost of the debt, but the weighted average cost of capital. which takes into consideration all the financing costs.
Sir, can you flash ulit yung formula po for the weights po?
For the weights, okay?
Opo.
It's just the just getting the percentage of the market value over the whole total market value. Okay, did that answer your question? Copy down lang. No? Okay, good. Thank you for that question. Okay, any other questions, guys? You should arrive at 9.36. Okay, paki-chat naman please kung okay for me to move on and go to the next worksheet. Kung okay na. So you got the WAC. A market value, Tracy. Formula for market value. Sige, ito. Market value is simply, okay, you multiply the quantity with the price. So let me repeat this. So common stock, magkano yung price ng common stock? It's 41.5, no? And then ilan siya? 240. Okay? And then for preferred, how much is the price of preferred? It's 125. No? Tapos ilang shares? Times 2,500. Yun ang market value niya. Tapos si bonds, okay? Magkano yung price niya? It's 1,005 multiplied by the number of units, no? Coupons na naka-issue. Okay. Okay, did that answer your question, Tracy? Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, salamat guys sa mga questions, and I'm happy that you're really raising these questions for clarification. Okay, any other questions, guys, before we go to the last worksheet? And that will be our last session, last lesson for the term. And by the way, guys, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you so much. It has been a wonderful journey. Salamat, guys, especially to those who have been very diligent in always attending, perfect attendance. No? Salamat sa pag-a-attend lagi. Salamat sa pag-participate, sa pagtatatanong sa class. I really enjoyed this journey with you. And my prayer is that you learned something from finance. For those of you who are considering to shift to finance, that's a good decision also. Finance is a very interesting field, and maraming opportunities, no, sa finance. If you take the CFA, for example, in Chartered Finance Analyst, yung recognition dyan is global. No? Global. Okay din CPA, pero ang CPA natin would be only for the Philippines. Ang CFA, guys, whether you go to US or to Europe, recognize yung charter na yun, yung certification na yun. Okay, so with that, guys, we move on to the last, we go to the last one. Okay, so here we're, tanggalin ko lang itong create, no? Investment, oops, mali, Control Z. So here we'd like to do an investment opportunity schedule. I'm removing the others kasi gusto kong gawing title to sa plot natin. Okay, investment opportunity schedule, IOS. So what's this for? This is, guys, if you have, let's say, an independent projects. So ito may 10 projects tayo dito. So ano yung unang pipiliin natin? Depende dun sa budget natin. So kunyari ang budget lang natin 500,000. So which project should we choose? So logically dapat, 'di ba, ang pinakamataas na IRR. Okay? Tapos paano kung ang budget natin 1 million? So how do we determine kung ano yung mga projects na dapat the company will engage in. Now, to begin with the end in mind, guys, ito, kindly click the iOS and unhide. Meron akong tinago na worksheet dito. Yan. So this is what we want to do. We want to have this as an output. Ito. Ito yung investment opportunity schedule. So this is your investment opportunity schedule. This is your iOS. Okay, this is what we want. Ano to? Ano tong iOS na to? Baguhin ko nga yung ano yung design. Mas kita natin yung design. Format. Design. Okay, ito na lang. Okay, take a look at this, guys. Itong ano na to, this is the first project which has the highest IRR. So that refers to project H. Si project H kasi, siya yung may IRR na 16.51%, highest yun. Okay? Ang cost ni project H, 407,769. So hanggang dito yun. Now, ang next, guys, si project G with an IRR of 16.16. And the cost of project G is 396. So if you're going to do project H and G together, ang total cost niya 803,978. Okay, so for example, the budget is 1 million. So pwede nating gawin si H at saka si G. Pwede pa ba nating isama si I, yung susunod na project na may 15.87 IRR? Okay, hindi na natin pwede isama si I kasi ang total kung kasama si I is 1.24 million. So hindi nakakasya yung budget natin na 1 million. Okay, so the iOS tells us kung ano yung mga projects ang pwede natin engage in based on IRR and based on the total budget. Okay? Right, so we can see here in this schedule that if we're going to do all the projects, it will cost the company 2.71 million. So kung kunyari may budget na 3 million, then walang problema, pwedeng gawin lahat. No? But if there's a limited budget, kunyari hanggang 1.5 million lang. So mukhang hindi umabot yung project na to, no? Kasi excess na siya ng 1.5 million. Okay? So ang pwede lang si project H, G, at saka si I. Okay, hindi na pwede si F kasi sobra na siya ng 1.5 million. In fact, it's 1.514 million. Okay? So that's what we're going to do now. Okay? Paano natin gagawin itong iOS? So I'm going to teach you a technique in order to plot this. No? Kasi mahirap i-plot yan. No? Hindi basta-basta pwedeng i-manual yan. So there's a technique that we're going to do. Okay, so let's go here first sa iOS natin. So let's preserve this original data in case you want to practice on this. Control-C, copy natin dito, Control-V. Okay, so I'm going to copy yung cost at saka IRR. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to sort this. Sort natin si IRR from highest to lowest. So highlight everything, okay? Highlight, and then go to data. Data, sort natin, no? Sort natin. Sino isi-sort natin? Sort si IRR, okay? From largest to smallest. Okay, there you go. Okay, so we can see here that project H has the highest IRR. Tapos si project G. Tapos I and F. So depende sa ano natin, no? Depende sa available na budget natin. We will have to rank this according to IRR and according to our budget. Si B ang pinakamaliit na IRR, no? So this will be the last, ito yung pinakahuli natin na i-consider. All right. So we will have to medyo gagawa tayo dito ng ano ng konting manipulation. Mag-insert tayo dito. Okay? And then mag-aan tayo ng total cost. So, i-accumulate natin siya. No? So, for example, 407 yung una, and then 407 plus 396. And then 407 plus 396 plus 439. Okay, you know how to do this, guys. Nagawa na natin to. Sum of the cost and then colon. Para naka-fix yung unang ano natin, then I'll fix the row H$5 to H5 sum yan. When we drag this, yan. So i-adapt niya, no? Accumulate niya, cumulative to, no? So 407 plus 396, ito yun. Then 407 plus 396 plus 439, ito yun. No? Okay. All right. So that's a simple technique to cumulate from the start. No? Okay. Any questions so far, guys? Paki-chat naman kung nakaabot kayo dito sa portion na to, yung total cost. Thank you, Migs. We'll wait for the rest. Please don't be ashamed to raise your questions. If there's a portion here which you get, yes.
Sir, pwede po, ano po, nawala po kasi ako simula po nung nirang po yung numbers po.
Okay,
Pwede
sige.
po. doon.
Sure. Thank you, Charmaine. Thank you. Okay, let me go back, no, sa process, no. Okay. So yung IRR na ano natin, na sort na natin, ano, so si project H ang pinakamalaki, si project B ang pinakamaliit based on IRR. So sabi natin, what we're going to do is we're going to come up with a column that will accumulate the cost. So here, mag-i-insert ako dito ng column, okay, insert, and then I'll put here total cost or total investment na lang. Sige. Total investment. I-accumulate natin siya. Ano ko nga, para mas maganda tingnan, graph ko. Okay. Total investment. Okay, so si total investment, i-accumulate lang natin siya. So ang ginamit natin na formula is sum of H5, yung unang cost, and then di ba kino-column natin yan, press column. And then we can fix the first one, fix the row, yeah, sum of H$5 up to H5. When we copy this down, it will remain at H5, pero bababa siya sa H6, H7, H8, etc. So Control Enter, and then copy this down. There. Thank you, Charmaine, for your question. Did you get this?
Yes po, sir. Thank you po.
Thank you, Charmaine. Okay, any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Okay, none. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to separate this. Ito yung gagamitin natin, no? Para sa pag-plot natin. So hiwalay lang natin to. Okay, I'm going to separate that. Okay. And then naka-formula pa kasi siya, no? Naka-link pa siya dito, no? What I'm going to do is to remove the formula, Control C, and then right-click, paste special, yung values lang. Okay, that way, guys, kasi may i-manipulate natin to. So dapat hindi na siya naka-formula para hindi mag-error. Alright, so if you notice, wala na siya mga formula, mga numbers na lang siya, no? Okay, so kasi ang objective natin, kailangan natin ma-plot to, no? So let's just take a look at the first one. So notice this line is from 0 up to 406, 407. No? Tapos ito naman from 407 up to 803. Yung mga cumulative sums nila, no? So paano kaya natin gagawin yung step down na yan? Yung bababa ng ganyan, no? So may technique dyan, guys, sa pag-step down na yan. Okay, let's go here. So first, I'm going to insert here a row. Dapat ipapasok natin dito si, copy lang natin to, no? Ika-copy ko yung format nito. So home, format copy, kakopy ko siya dito. Alright. So kailangan natin from 0, papasok natin si 0 para from 0 to 407769. And then from 0 to 407769, ang ano niyan, ang IRR niyan is 16.51, di ba? 16.51 yan. Okay, so in fact, this is project H, no? Project H siya. Alright, so ito na actually yung unang step natin. From 0 to 407769, ang IRR niya constant as 16.51. Okay, so next, pupuntahan natin si G. Okay, so we're going to insert another column here. Okay, mag-i-insert tayo guys ng mga columns in between the breakpoints. So sige lang, insert tayo ng insert. Kindly insert rows pala, hindi columns. Insert in between the totals. Insert again. Insert. Okay. Yan. Okay, so let me pause for a while. Let me wait for your responses, guys, kung na-insert nyo na. Okay na, guys? Kindly chat, please, if you're okay. Okay, thank you, Lawrence. How about the rest? I hope you're able to follow, guys. Anton, thank you. Kenji, thank you. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Sige. So, itutuloy na natin to, no? Now, let me just show you. If I type a number here, iba yung format, no? Iba yung format. So, just to make, para shortcut na, pare-pare yung format ng ilalagay natin dito. I'll just copy this. Copy ko to. Ito na lang, copy ko. Then right-click this one. Right-click Format Painter. And then copy ko sa lahat. Yan, para isang escape. Isang ano lang, para if I type a number here, for example, okay, pare-pareho na silang format. Okay. Now take note, guys, ito in-insert natin, ano? In-insert natin to. And this belongs to Project H. Hindi ko na-copy yung format nito. Okay, kinapy ko rin yung format. So yung Project H, guys, yung range ng from 0 to 407769. And then 16.51% niya. Okay? Ang susunod natin si Project G. So si Project G, if you take a look at our plot, okay, let me go back to our plot. Ito si Project G, ano? So that's also 47769 hanggang 803,978. Kung titingnan natin sa accumulation natin, this is project G. And the IRR is 16.16%. 16.16%. Now, ang question, paano kaya nagagawa tong step down na to? So the technique, guys, is from 407,769, magdadagdag tayo ng a small number plus 0.01. Yung increment na yan na 0.01, that will now cause the number to drop, no? The plot to drop. Okay? Kasi may mas mataas na 1 centavo. No? Okay? And then, ito naman, guys, yung IRR nito should be equal to 16.16. Diba? Let me put that in brown. So, ano ginawa natin dito? For this one, I added 0.01 to the previous amount. Okay? And the IRR here will be equal to the next amount, no? Yung 16.16. So just to clarify this, ito, guys, ito si project G to, no? From 407,769, 0.01 kasi dinagdagan natin ng ano to ng 0.01. Ang IRR na 16.16 hanggang 803,978, ang IRR na 16.16. That will create this line here. Yan, ito. And then we do the next to the same. So we can just copy this. Highlight nyo to. Control C, Control V. Okay. Check natin. This is, di ba, 803,978. Dagdagan natin ng 01. And then this is the IRR corresponding to yung susunod. Kasi from 803,978 hanggang 1243, ang IRR niya should be the same, 15.87%. That's the IRR of I. Okay, so para kay I yan. Okay? Alright, so let's complete this table. Copy lang natin to kasi parehong formula sa lahat. Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V. Okay, Control V, Control V. Alright. Yun. Just for our information ito, Control C, Control V. Kay F to, no? F. Tapos yung susunod, kay J, Control C, Control V. J to. Si D, Control C. Dalawa na lang, Control V. Tapos si A, Control C, Control V. You can highlight that. Control C, E, Control V, Control C. Okay. So we now have we can now plot this, no? So si Project H ito yon from 0 to 407,769. Si Project G from 407,769, dinagdagan natin ng 0.01 to para bumaba yung plot hanggang 803,978, etc. Okay? So we can now plot this. Total investment, IRR. Okay? Highlight everything. And then you have this insert. Plot natin, pwede natin gamitin to or ito. Okay, let's use this. Okay, so ito yung plot natin. No? What we can do is to edit this format. Napakataas ng iOS natin. Ang lowest IRR is 11.48%. Nagsimula ito sa 0. Baguhin natin to, gawin nating right-click, format axis. Let's just make this pwedeng 11%, no? Or 10%. Let's just make it 10.5% or kahit 11%. Okay, there. So we can see now that our plot. Okay, so ito na guys yung ano natin, no? This is now our Okay, ang plot natin, of course, we can modify this a bit. No? Ay, time na pala, no? Okay. Anyway, guys, let me just conclude. So, pwedeng i-format nyo na lang to, design, etc. So, let me just take a look at this design. Okay, so itong plot na to, guys, this is project H, no? Okay, as I mentioned a while ago, ang cost niya hanggang 407,769. Yung susunod dito si project G, ang cost niya 8 hanggang 803,978. So depende sa budget natin. Kunyari, if the budget is 1.8 million, so hanggang saan lang to pwede? Looking at this table, hanggang project J lang tayo, no? HGIFJ. Project HGIFJ. Hanggang dito lang. Hindi kasama si project J. Kasi sa project J, 1.96 million. Hanggang F lang. No? 1.8 million is somewhere here. So hindi na pwede itong project na to kasi hanggang dito siya, hanggang 1.9 million itong project J. So hanggang project F lang. Okay? So this is your investment opportunity schedule, and it will give us the possible investments for independent projects. Right. So thank you so much, guys. That ends our discussion for the whole term. Reminder, guys, please, on Saturday yung exams natin. Do not absent yourself, guys, kasi wala tayong makeup quiz. No? Okay, and wala ding makeup finals, guys. So please attend. Please take the exams. Okay. So it's been a very good term for us. Salamat, guys. Sana natuto kayo. Sana marami sa mga diniscuss natin is not discussed in other FMDP. No? These are additional information and skill set for you. No? So maraming salamat. Thank you so much for the term. God bless. Ingat kayo lahat. No? And for those of you who will have your attendance checked, kindly remain. Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you. And
Thank you po.
thank you so much.
Sir.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
ingat guys.